siren now. Oh, they gonna hear us now. Hey, let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. It's hard to believe, Coach, but we are in the last week of the season. Fall is in the air. Pretty crisp walking down here at 6:15 this morning. Great game against Osseo. And then we look into week 9 with Wayzata. So talk just briefly about the Osseo game.
Well, I mean, I guess first off, we've been kind of spoiled as far as weather, so I'm not going to complain about any of that. I mean, even today, it's cool, but game time for Wednesday is looking about 60, so we'll be all right. No, it was once again, the kids played really well against Osseo. It was we talked all week about focusing on us, making sure we took another step forward, and kids definitely did that. Osseo's not a bad football team.
They have some athletes.
They do, and you look at what they've done in other games. They've battled in every game they've had. Took it to Coon Rapids. They were in most games through half, and then just little mistakes that cost them. And then coming off a big win against STMA. To go out there and for us to put all that aside and just play our game, play the best we could, I thought was really good. But it is back to your first statement. It's hard to believe it's end of the second third of the season right here.
Yep. So we're going to take a look at some of these Osseo highlights and then come back and talk about some offense against Osseo. Back again, we got the kids getting in another lift here this morning, day before the Wayzata game. But before we get to that, Coach, let's talk a little bit about your offense. Peyton Podani goes 18 for 27, 330, and 4 touchdowns. Charlie Hendrickson has a breakout game, 105, 2 touchdowns. Again, we've talked about this, how many players catch the ball. You had 7 players catch a pass against Osseo. Running game, not as big a factor, but a nice complement to the passing game this week against Osseo.
Yeah, I mean, I think, starting with the running game, it was still kind of the key to the offense, getting that stuff, making them commit to that. Trey had a really big catch in the game. Charlie's big catch came off play action. So those things kind of building on each other. Charlie having a big game, that doesn't surprise any of us. Any of us that have been around Charlie for the past 4 years know that he goes and gets it. He's a playmaker. It's just with so many guys that can make plays on the team, it's hard to see them all each game, but they're all there, and we know that for us to get where we want to get in the third part of the season is.
Yeah, I want to talk about this right at the beginning of the game. Osseo did come out, and they marched right down the field and took 6-0, 7-0 lead. I can't remember, but you guys came back with 35 unanswered points after they scored.
Well, I mean, I know from the offensive end, I know that's one thing that I'm really proud of, the way the kids have responded, not just this week, but the past few weeks, that they just, they control what they can control. They don't worry about everything going on around them, the other things that are factors in the game. They worry about what can we do. We can finish drives. We finish drives. We're gonna be in a good position at the end of the game. So I thought that was really big. And then the conversations in between drives offensively have been outstanding. Really good feedback from the kids on what's going on. Really receptive to coaching when we say, no, that's not what is really going on. This is what's happening. And
let's go back to that comment you just said about the feedback from the kids, because obviously they're seeing the field different than the coaches are seeing the field. Do you take that under advisement and listen to that?
Yeah, I'm not out there. I mean, I know what perception can be, and having played before, having coached a lot, I know that I can calm them down sometimes and say, no, you're seeing something that's not really there. Or I can be receptive to it in certain circumstances and say, okay, I understand that that's what you're seeing. Okay, so maybe if we try this instead of this. So yeah, I think it's the give and take all the time, but with the kids, trying to understand what they're seeing, what's going on with them. And I know as a coach, I'm the first one, to say when we get over there and watch the film, and you know what, I was wrong. You know what, you were right. This is what's going on. They are playing harder inside leverage today. He did disregard the run game and just play straight pass. So there is a lot of give and take. And with receivers, everybody's open, right? Just ask them. So it is hard sometimes when you come to the sideline and you're like, oh, I can take this guy on this. I can take this guy on this. And I think our job is to listen to them, and for them to know that if you say it, then you better make it happen.
Better make it happen, yeah. All right, well, we'll hear from one of the star offensive players, Charlie Hendrickson, here in just a minute. And then when we come back, we will look at the Anoka defense. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm here with Charlie Hendrickson. Hey, you had a breakout game tonight. Let's talk a little bit about it. Celebrating at 55-19. Let's go. What do you got?
I just want to thank God and my teammates, man. I want to thank Coach Bo for trusting me with the ball. I want to thank Peyton for getting the ball in my hands, man. And it was just a fun night for everyone. The fans, myself, my teammates. Shout out to the team for real.
Hey, we got one more home game and then we get into the playoffs. Keep it up. Let's go.
Back again, talking a little Anoka defense against Osseo, wrapping up the recap of the Osseo game. Coach touched on a little bit on the offense. Osseo came down on that first drive, had, I think, 2 big chunk plays, got them down at like the 3 or the 4. They scored. But then the defense really shut them down the rest of the game. Although looking at the stats, this might be a little misrepresentative, but they did rush for 354 yards. Don't know if that was a factor of you guys having such a big lead, putting in some of your second string to get them plays, time on the field, but still 354 yards on the ground is quite often.
No, I mean, they came out and they got after it, and to me it was a little bit reminiscent of the Eastridge game last year, where I think defensively we didn't take the field ready to for lack of a better term, hit them in the mouth. Yeah. We let their record, indicate to us that they're not as good a team and that they can't play. Yeah. They can't play physical. And and then on top of that, they did come out and they were, they went with their Wildcat stuff, and that was a much different look than maybe we were ready. We were ready for that in pieces. We didn't expect them to go with that as a full-time offense. So, I thought the kids did a really good job of making adjustments. Once again, making adjustments on the fly, getting into some things. The coaches did an outstanding job of adjusting and saying, okay, let's go to this versus this, because they're going to do the Wildcat. We gave up a few big plays that I think had a huge part in the numbers, but like we tell the kids, there's one number that matters, and that's
W, right?
W, right?
Yeah.
Not a number, but I guess it's one stat that matters.
Yeah.
So that's that's what we were looking at. I thought the kids, once we settled in, played really hard. Got after it. Once again,
Yeah. And Michael Chamberlain, again, 7 total. We've talked about him. He's just having an outstanding year. Dawson Lawrence, 7 total tackles. Those two kind of jumped out at the stat sheet. How are they playing, continuing to?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I guess Michael, for one, I mean, Michael's one of the top defensive linemen in the state, to be honest with you. He's not, anybody who knows Michael, his personality is he is not a flamboyant person. He's not a outspoken person. He's just show up, kind of a lunch pail, I'm going to get to work type kid. Michael, that was a great play. Thanks, coach. Okay. And then on to the next. And then Dawson Lawrence, he's continuing, as a junior, really continuing to come on. I think he was one of the ones I talked about coming off of SDSU camp this summer that I was really excited about his growth over the winter. And he continues to be a key factor. We ended up, probably our leading tackler to this point, Luke DeShane, we were able to rest him for most of that game because Dawson plays so well. So it did give us an opportunity, with both Luke DeShane, Ethan Mossman, giving him another week to recover and rest. We did have the opportunity to get some guys healthier moving into the third part of the season.
And I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what I thought was the play of the game. Leroy Houston and his interception return for a touchdown. You don't see a D lineman in high school, college, or the NFL get an interception for a return.
You don't.
I was so happy for that.
That was, we had just gotten done talking to the offense, and I was walking, back to the line, and I just see that this pink shirt, because he had a pink undershirt on, jump in the air and kind of belly the ball, and then runs it in. And we're lucky we didn't get a flag on it because the entire team got excited for
rush the field
for Leroy, because Leroy is a kid that grew up in the Osseo school district.
Oh, he did. I did not know that.
And then, due to family issues, they ended up moving over to Ramsey and for freshman year. So those are a lot of his old friends that he's playing against, and for him to get a pick in that game and take it to the house, that was really cool.
That's been one of my favorite plays throughout.
And I think it was a big part in the game that kind of put a nail in it at that point, where it was, we were, kind of going back and forth with offense was doing well, defense had some drives going against us, but we were stopping them in key situations, and then boom, that happened, and it was kind of ball game.
Yeah, it was. So we're going to hear from that defensive player, Leroy Houston, and his thoughts on that interception return for a touchdown, and then we'll get into the Wayzata game. Back in a few moments.
Hey, I'm here with Leroy Houston. You had the game changer play tonight. D lineman interception, return for a touchdown. Talk about, what did you see?
I sent him on my linebackers rushing to the quarterback. I just dropped back, I caught the pass, and I ran the touchdown in.
Hey, awesome job tonight. You get defensive player of the day. All right, awesome. Let's go.
Every week, this ain't no game, this ain't no joke. I hope you prepare for the beat. We run through the middle, we run through your teeth. If you throwing it deep, we put 6 on the sheet, and it's only first quarter, so change up your deep. Whenever the lights on and the whistle blows, every Friday night we put on a show. Good, better, best, never let it rest. Step on the field and get body, bro. We ain't no jokers, we pop like a soda. Get me like an ogre, don't say we ain't Trojan. You see, we in Anoka, we make no excuses. Relentless and ready with bros on my shoulders. Highlight reels on deck, yeah, they coming up. First half, right hook, energize a bunny. I'm take 'em out, running all the money up. Leave 'em Cheerios on the board, no honey nut.
All right, back again. We are into as I mentioned, we're into the last game of the regular season. Coach, you're going outside your district now, playing another district team. West Metro, you're playing the Wayzata Trojans. Even though their record is 3-4, Coach, they've had a grinder of a season. Looking at their schedule last night, they played the number 3 team, they played the number 4 team, the number 6 team, the number 8 team. All been relatively close games. So a large task in front of you here this week as you head into that last week of the season, correct?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's, they're a good football team. I think we saw that last year when we played them. Really weird schedule that we've had over these past 2 years with playing this non-district game at the end of the season where, most states, most areas, most years, it's been set up where this would be kind of the week 1 game, and then we'd transition into district play. So it'd almost be like a full speed bye or a full speed scrimmage week. But it's not. So for most districts, for most teams, your playoff picture is pretty much set. But for us, I think it presents an awesome challenge. It's a short week. So which team can handle the short week better? It's, our district versus their district, and, with, a couple of the past state champions coming from our district, in Maple Grove and then Centennial, I think, it's important for us to still continue to show that this district is the top, and, I think in the past, in this state, a lot of the perception, the lore, all that always kind of falls to the Lake Conference. It does, whatever Eden Prairie and Minnetonka want is what we get. And understanding that maybe things need to shift a little bit, in that down in the southern metro, they play really good football with Lakeville North, Lakeville South, Shakopee. And up here, we play some really good football. So. I'm excited to see what we can do. But it is weird because, just having conversations with a couple other coaches. I mean, it's almost like the NFL at the end of the season. Yeah. You have the discussion of, okay, do we sit guys here? Do we use this, the rest versus rust type discussion?
So you would rather have this last game of the season be the first game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, that's not something we can control now, but 100%. Then you're going into it, and we're still establishing our team. We're still figuring out who we are. Where now you know who you are, and you're gearing up for playoff time.
Yeah. So, all right, Coach. So it's Wednesday night, 7:00, last home game, big game too. What is it? What do we got? Pumpkin Bowl.
Yep.
Be a lot of orange in that stadium come Wednesday night. And then
celebrate our seniors. Their last regular season game at home. So
the kids are going to be pretty hyped up for this game.
Let's hope so. Yeah. It was. In football in this state, you're guaranteed 9 opportunities. Yeah. So I would never take one for granted. Especially if you're a kid, let's go have fun and enjoy that last regular season game and get ready for what's next.
All right. Well, again, Wednesday night, 7:00, Goodrich Field, and I'm assuming this is going to be on QCTV. I can't confirm, but there'll probably be a link sent out for this one because it is.
Tim Anderson, our very own Tim Anderson, broadcasting the game. So,
all right, Coach. Well, good luck on this last regular season game, and we'll catch up next week and talk playoffs.
All right.
Oh, they gonna hear us now.